Hi everyone, Tarun here. I'm recording this video to bring something to your notice. I think over the last 2 months or so, I've personally been receiving what many would call personal attacks, exaggerated attacks. So, if you open some of the job portals, you would see individuals directly having a problem with the CEO of the company. In most organizations, you'd probably not see that because I think CEOs have a structure and people go as per a structure. However, over here, despite the structure, I make it a point to monitor everyone. Uh, right now, there are 70 individuals working in Deep Thought. I know everyone by name. I know where they're working, which team they're working, what are they working on, what their learning requirements are, what sessions have to be done for them to, do well. If this is my crime to be involved in everyone's progress to see that they can grow, I'm willing to commit that crime every single day in my life. Now, some of the individuals have mentioned that we are interfering into personal lives of people. Recently, we've hired people in a hybrid mode where they work as mentors in an engineering college, help some students, and parallelly do some, coding for us. We thought this is a win-win solution because students get help from somebody who's actually working with us in the company, which is a massive encouragement to the student, and somebody who's not otherwise finding a career opportunity is getting a chance to start as a data scientist, as a software developer, and so on within Deep Thought. And but the problem with this is everybody have to stay in one engineering college, eat the food in a hostel, and very few hostels would exist in India where food is proper. So we were proactively trying to figure out how to solve those issues, how to solve the maintenance issues and all of that. Now, one thing which probably a youngster may not understand, but which is very important is unless you eat your meals regularly and unless you sleep on time, it's very difficult to sort of sustain this kind of a model. There are some individuals who prefer staying up late night and waking up late in the morning. Now, if you're working out of an engineering college and if you're put on a pedestal, if you're shown as a role model before students, if this kind of a thing, and it's a campus, right? So things just spread. If someone is staying up late, someone is waking up late, that spreads very openly. So this was very clearly communicated that we expect you to switch off the lights in your room by 10:30, sleep by 12:30. Now, there are certain individuals who have problems with this. However, when I'm bringing somebody, putting that person on a pedestal in an engineering college, let me tell you, not everyone can walk in there and be that. It's a huge responsibility in terms of how you conduct yourself there because there are other youngsters who are watching you. Now, if I go into a room and switch off the light, it is about making sure a system is put in place. If the lights go off at 10:30, that means that, okay, I can maximum sustain my eyes for 2 hours, even if I'm making an effort to learn something, watch a movie or something, I'll be able to sustain only for 2 hours. After 12:30, naturally my eyes drop off and I sleep. Because I think sleep is a very fundamental requirement, and I'd want people to sleep at least 7 hours a day, especially when you're exposed to gadgets for more time because your work requires you to use these gadgets. Now, this I think is seen by certain individuals as intrusion into personal life. Now, there's a need to communicate this better. I understand. We're still figuring out how to communicate it. This is the first time where I think we're trying to put people in a hostel setup, put people in an engineering college. There's so many complications involved. Now, one more thing which people come up is we are paid less, we are paid less. Let me tell you, nobody here is standing in a queue to pay us money. I am paid less for the last 10 years of my life. Maybe if I were to Be done with freshers. Be done with hiring freshers. We've hired about 70 to 80 freshers in the last 2 months during the recession time. If I were to put this aside, I think I can get paid better. I think I can take care of my family better. If I get done with this model and start thinking of myself and start, you know, working with some companies in their marketing, working with some companies in the product management. Some of my clients badly want my time, trying to give that time. Probably if I were to work there, maybe I'll make more time. Or if you think I'm a worthless person, my resume is good for nothing, fine. At least I can sit at home and have peace of mind without doing all these things. People are not willing to pay that high amount because whatever 12,000 is a stipend I hand out to the person, over and above that, we collect another 8,000 as an amount per candidate to mentor the candidate. Now, in one particular organization where we're hiring more people, we give a discount, which I'm not supposed to disclose. So we roughly get a 50% of that amount. Now, again, in that amount that we collect, even the 12,000 that we collect to be handed out to the candidate, 10% of that 12,000 is deducted as a tax deduction at source. It goes to the income tax department directly. And even if I do not make a profit at the end of the year, that 1,200 per candidate multiplied by 50 candidates, 60,000 rupees per month into 1 year, 7.2 lakhs gets stuck with the income tax department for the next 1.5 years. The income tax department waits for the return, understands the return, and transfers that money back only when they understand that, okay, all of this is correct. We are willing to wait, but 7 lakhs is huge money for a startup like us. We depend on some of the investments and some of the other cash flows to wait for that money to come back. Now, you might say 8,000 is huge money. Our money is being eaten. I'm sorry. You are being given certain mentoring, which you may agree or you may disagree. You are being given some mentoring, and the company is willing to hire you only because a deep thought is saying that I'm willing to mentor this guy. There are some of my clients who come and say, Tarun, instead of selling the candidates to us, why don't you start looking for more candidates? I say, no, I'm not selling any candidate. I see potential in this fellow. This fellow can grow into that role. Just give him a learning period. Some people say, you put me on a learning period for 1 month or 2 months and you don't pay me anything in this. We've told it very clearly, learning currency is the primary currency of deep thought. Learning currency is the primary currency of deep thought. So in the first 2 months, we expect somebody to understand our systems, learn our systems, and then go into projects by building the systems. However, if you believe that this learning is not valuable, we make it very clear, do not join us if you do not find this learning to be valuable. I politely request you, for the last 12 years of my life, I've made a lot of personal sacrifices. I'm trying to make some things happen. It's not easy. I had to convince a lot of investors that there's potential here. They were like, okay, we're willing to wait. We're willing to wait. You've shown us promise. Go ahead and deliver that education. We're trying to deliver that education to people. That Socratic pedagogy, Feynman technique, you may not see value in it. But the organizations which have signed up a contract with us have seen value in it. And the 190 individuals who've invested in us have seen value in it. So many subject matter experts who come to our Socratic dialogues on the YouTube channel, you'll see more than 500 videos. They've seen value in this method of learning. Even this images you have of people here, these are images of the Socratic dialogues. We were able to get 4th class children to present Eric Ries's lean startup. You may disagree with us. We are worthless people. That is fine. Please don't stop the mission. Because you might find this to be worthless. Some other individual might be able to see value in it. Now, whatever hate you want to subject us to, whatever anger you have in us, in yourself, you can leave it in the comments of this video. I'm willing to politely respond to all of them because I understand as a youngster why you're suffering. I understand that the society has failed you. I understand that your emotions are not heard. I understand that you were not given the kind of career that you ideally wanted to. I understand that deep thought was not even your first choice. It is like being with a partner you do not want to be with. I understand how toxic and how nasty that can be. I understand you wanted to work with us even though you didn't want to work with us. what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to ensure that at least for your juniors, that is not the situation. We're trying to improve their quality of thinking. We're trying to help them acquire that self-awareness so that they understand what they're good at. They build themselves in what they're good at. They go apply to different opportunities. They don't just go to any opportunity that comes their way, but they go to that opportunity that their heart really lies in, where their value, they truly believe in it, not that they make an internal compromise and work there, so that this disappointment doesn't happen. Yes, sometimes you badly want that person to listen. And maybe the comment section here, maybe social media, maybe going and scolding one organization gives you that internal peace. Go ahead, please do it. If you think we can help you feel a little better, forget deep thought. If you think I can help you a little better, you want to, scold me, you want to tell something to me, go ahead, say it. I've been hearing this for ages. I'm willing to hear it because I think I've said this on multiple occasions. Again, you might think that I'm worthless, I'm not capable of doing, but at least let me try. At least let me try. My dream in life is by the time I'm dead, I don't know how many years I live. Thankfully, I've managed to stay healthy despite all this feedback that I sort of receive on different platforms. But for how many ever years I live, I would want to make sure that before I die, I can produce 100,000 leaders, 1 lakh leaders. Because one thing I've seen in my life experience, I'm only 31, turning 32 soon. In this few years, what I've seen is if we had more leaders, a lot of these problems would be solved. Like your frustration also, if there was a genuine leader who could listen to your frustration, talk for you, and make sure you get what you need, perhaps you wouldn't have been in the space. So if the world had more leaders, probably these problems would get solved. So I'm just on that mission. And is my life easy? Not easy at all. Convincing a client to take a fresher is not easy. Everybody says these freshers, they don't listen, they have huge expectations, they have problems, culturing them, these attitude issues. So whatever comments you read here, in your comments, I see your pain. But the market, I'm sorry, my dear friend, doesn't understand that way. If you see why there are not enough opportunities for freshers today, this is why it is, because people do not have the patience to understand. They just want to hire an individual who'll go take the salary, do the work, and done. But putting that patience into helping somebody learn. For the last 12 years, I've mentored individuals, some amazing individuals who've who are now going on to do amazing jobs. Some of them have invested back into the company. It's not an easy experience that you spend 6 months, you nurture a person, you lose that person because you can't afford that person. Why? Because we're struggling to find a sustainable revenue model that can help us do this. We found that revenue model only last year, where we told companies that we can build teams for you, we can get teams of freshers running for you. And it's only now that we've started getting this cracking. And you going and writing all these things is only going to create a lot of confusion among different individuals. However, I believe that if something wrong has happened to you, you have every right to go and express yourself. You have every right to go and tell what you felt, what is the pain. So, does that make it a little harder for me to grow this idea? Yes, it will. However, it is my responsibility to explain all of this because it is your right to go and express yourself. I'm just making this video because if someone is reading all those comments over there, they deserve to hear my version as well. And through this video, I'm just sharing my version. Now, I can actually go into fact by fact rebuttal of what you've written. Now, if you say the company is going nowhere, I'm sorry, we have achieved a financial break even. That was released in our investor report in the last quarter. I will not be able to share that. However, 190 investors have received that, and I'm publicly making the statement that all my investors have received that. We've done a financial break even last quarter. And as a private limited company, we're supposed to issue an audited report every financial year. We're issuing last until March. The audited report will be sent out by this month end to all our investors. Even this claim, which I'm telling, will be sent to all our investors in terms of how much money we've received, how much money we've spent, how the finances of this company are smartly being managed. So, whatever work we are doing, is it really adding value to someone? You may not be able to see the value, but there are certain individuals who are seeing the value. I think as a country, the bullying in this country and all these attacks on this country with the protection of anonymity can stop if we can respect the other's opinion and if we can agree to disagree. I agree that you're disappointed with what Deep Thought does. However, I think there's a very fundamental point to understand here. You were given multiple opportunities to understand that Deep Thought is different from other organizations. And you were asked to sign that joining letter only after understanding this. You were asked to join only after getting a transparent understanding of this. And yet you joined us. Is this my communication failure? I'll still accept that it's my communication failure. But I'll ask you only one question. Is it fair that an experiment to improve this, which has validated itself at multiple levels, if you open our YouTube channel and see this Socratic dialogue videos of students, you'll see what is the level of thought process which was ingrained in those students. First level of validation. You see, one of our clients, Kringle.ai, was able to get 10x returns out of their interns and they hired most of them full time. One of our other clients, rebuttal, out of their 8 interns, they hired 7 of their interns full time after the carefully curated program. There are probably elements of the program which people will agree. There are elements of the program which people will disagree. But there's one thing. During the recession time, Deep Thought was able to identify startups which were having challenges to hire. We were able to hire people, continuously nurture people around certain thinking methodologies, which a lot of youngsters say are not useful. But the ones who spent at least 3 months with us after a period of time have started seeing value of these learning drills. Will anyone come back and support us later? No, it's a thankless job. You go, you help a person learn and grow, it's a thankless job. But instead, you create a commercial course, create a certificate, and start giving people certificate. They'll pay you 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs. Why are the questions not being asked to that college where you went, where you paid lakhs of money and you have not got the value you wanted? Why are the questions not being asked to the training institute where you're paying again lakhs of money and the value which you needed to get has not been delivered? Deep Thought here is paying money, trying to teach these methods, and we are being questioned. Now, if you're asking, we don't have a plan, I'm sorry, this is lean startup, right? You understand this is how startups work. You make a plan for a week. You do course corrections in the next week. You iteratively improve it. Tell me, which is that company which is able to put interns into these projects where the code design is done by interns, the API design and all of that is done by interns? Which is that organization where interns are able to work as team leaders, take responsibility for a team and deliver projects? How many projects these people have delivered? It's more than 70 projects till date, and I can probably get a project showcase through which people are able to showcase what this was done. I think it is only this decision making where we, week on week, we're trying to improve things which has helped us achieve these results. Now, one fundamental question here is, if you disagree with this, why do you want to join us? Why do you want to tell all these things to us and hurt yourself? Okay, fine. You say all these things to me. I'm willing to listen, because in all of these, I don't see you as my enemy. I see you as somebody who's going through a lot of pain, and seeing a fellow human going through pain, I understand that's not good. We ideally want a world where people don't have to go through so much of pain, where people can lead happier lives. That's exactly what I'd like to see. Now, am I faking it? I personally don't think so. But if you believe so, I would say, my dear friend, you don't have to go under anonymity. Send that email to me. We'll have a conversation. I'm willing to have a discussion with you. But I honestly want to find a way to collaborate with individuals, because I know this movement to change the education system and to change the corporate system will only succeed when all of us go together, not when we are fragmented. You disagree with us, you need not work with us, you can separate. However, I think we can have a dialogue so all of us can come together, all of us can work together to make a difference to the lives of freshers. So you're having so many problems with what we're doing. reach out to me, send an email to me, send a WhatsApp message to me. We can have a conversation. And you're still unhappy with me, you're frustrated with me, you have the comment section for yourself. I trust, I promise you that I will not delete any of the comments. I'll only patiently come back and respond to each of the comments, because I believe if you have a right to put your story, I have a right to put my version of it as well, so that somebody who's coming to read it understands what really is going on here. Because unfortunately, one thing with us is we do not shortlist people based on percentages in our selection process. We give a transparent chance to everybody to apply to us. And at the end of a process, we evaluate who is aligning with us and we give a chance. In this process, a lot of people come in. Now, some people just get frustrated at the end. And I understand it. Do I want to stop this at the end of it? No. Because I certainly believe even at the end of this, there are some passionate individuals who will come. And for that one passionate individual, I'm willing to face whatever nine other individuals have to say to me. Now, I would strongly believe a more factual, a rational analysis of all of this would be helpful. However, I understand we're humans, we will only vent out emotions, and this is likely to happen. And once again, I thank all of you for listening to me, understanding my version, and I also request that we don't label the individuals. We understand the pain that I think the freshers of this country are experiencing by not getting the kind of opportunities that one needs. When we don't get the shirt that we want to wear, we get pain. But when we don't get the career that we want, the pain is much more. So I think one reason why Deep Thought as a company exists is if we do what we do correctly, I think over the long run, every fresher will get a job that he or she really deserves, that would keep him or her happy. Even if Deep Thought is not connected with that company, I think this larger change that we would create with this technology can do that if we succeed. Will we succeed? I don't know. Only time will tell. All I can say is we are trying our best. All I'm saying is we're trying to be honest. And even here, I think the purpose of this video is to make an honest attempt to reach out to individuals and have a dialogue so that we have less of pain and more of a dialogue to make human lives better. So, once again, I thank everyone for patiently hearing me out.